Kristi Noem walked into this hearing expecting softballs, but instead she got roasted to her face with one of the most brutal opening statements Congress has heard in years. No fluff, no theatrics, just a lawmaker unloading a list of failures so long and so specific that Noem couldn't hide behind slogans or photo ops. This wasn't political drama. This was accountability, delivered live with the receipts to back it up. Stay right here, because we need to talk about what just happened.
Let's resecure our homeland. I now recognize the ranking member for an opening statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Madam Secretary, to the hearing. Mr. Chairman, before we begin, I want to recognize National Police Week and thank the officers who protect our communities, this capital, and our country honorably and ably. We appreciate their service. As we observe National Police Week, I again call on the Speaker to follow the law and finally hang the plaque honoring those brave officers who defended the United States Capitol from a violent mob on January 6th. Over 140 law enforcement officers were assaulted that day, and honoring their bravery and sacrifice, as promised, is the least Congress can do. Turning to today's hearing, I'm glad Secretary Noem is finally testifying before the committee. After all, it's been 3 months since I sent you a letter asking for her to testify on the Trump administration's dismantling of the Department of Homeland Security and its harmful effects on communities across the country. Secretary Noem, I guess the chairman didn't think systematically dismantling the Department of Homeland Security, firing the federal workers who keep us safe, and violating the Constitution of the United States justified your timely appearance before this committee. But when Donald Trump demanded that Congress hand him money to do more damage to our Homeland Security, Republicans bent over backwards to help him and his billionaire friends at the expense of the American people. Whatever got you here, Secretary Noem, I'm glad you found time among your many photo ops and costume changes to testify about why President Trump is seeking more taxpayer dollars and what you plan to do with that money if you get it. And it is a lot of money. We're talking about $176 billion. That's how much President Trump has demanded that Congress give you to spend next year. Never mind the fact that your department is spending taxpayers' money so fast this year, you're about to be broke. Now you're saying you need $44 billion more, but all you've done is slash, burn, cut, dismantle, and tear apart DHS since you got here. You cut programs at the Federal Emergency Management Agency that help Americans prepare for and recover from disasters. You are unlawfully withholding grant money meant to prevent terrorism and respond to emergencies from local communities across the country. You cut programs at the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, which prevents attacks on power lines, water treatment plants, schools, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure. You cut the number of transportation security officers in our airplanes. You cut the Office of Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, which keeps DHS from digging into Americans' private lives and violating people's constitutional rights. You are making Americans less safe. If you're cutting the things that help keep America safe, why should we give you an extra $44 billion? Is it to deport American citizen children with cancer? Is it to deport more veterans of the United States military? Is it to ignore the Supreme Court's order to facilitate the release of a lawful permanent resident you mistakenly shipped off to a foreign prison? Is it to punish people for exercising their First Amendment right? Is it to disappear more people off our streets with no due process and ship them to a foreign dictator's prison? Is it to fire more military veterans who continue to serve their country by working for DHS? Is it to slash efforts to fight persistent threats from foreign terrorist organizations and domestic terrorists? Is it to dismantle FEMA as hurricane season is about to get underway? Is it to decimate CISA and invite China, Russia, Iran, and other adversaries into our cyber networks? Is it just to be mean, threaten, and deny due process to vulnerable people? These are not hypotheticals. These are things that DHS has already done under your leadership or is trying to do, Secretary Noem. Your policies and actions are so bad that Republican members have been running and hiding from their own constituents, refusing to hold town halls because they know they cannot defend this administration. Republicans are unwilling to defend the Trump administration with the folks back home. So I guess it's down to you to try to do that here today. But you can't defend the indefensible, Secretary Noem. Your department is out of control. On your watch, the department is breaking the law, it's hurting people, and it's making America less safe. The Trump administration is outright lying to the courts and the American people. Just last week, 3 members from New Jersey, all current members or former members of this committee, tried to visit an ICE detention center, which they are permitted to do, as you know, by law, without notice, to conduct oversight after reports of issues at the facility. Instead of following the law, masked ICE personnel stopped and assaulted the members. Then, to make matters worse, instead of launching an investigation into the incident, your department lied to the press about the situation and threatened to arrest members of Congress for doing their job. Absolutely outrageous. It's a sad day for the Department of Homeland Security. Frankly, I've never seen anything like it, and I've served as the lead Democrat on this committee from its start. Even when the Secretary, my Republican colleagues, and I had strong disagreements, we still had productive conversations and did our duty to keep America safe. But that's not the case any longer. My colleagues across the aisle have sold their souls, or at least their spines, to Donald Trump. They try to cover the administration lies and blame Democrats for doing the job our constituents sent us here to do. Republicans have forgotten that Congress is a co-equal branch of government and that the oath we take to the Constitution is the same as the president. Republicans even want to cut Medicaid to fund tax breaks for millionaires. They put their billionaire buddies over the little guys every chance they get. And now you are here, Secretary Noem, with your hand out, looking for more taxpayer money to continue the slash and burn activities of the Department of Homeland Security over the past 100 or so days. Until the Trump administration starts following the law, that's going to be a very, very hard sell. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields. Other members of the committee are reminded that opening statements may be submitted for the record. I'm pleased to have the Secretary of Homeland Security before us today.
What you just witnessed wasn't a routine opening statement. It was a full-blown indictment delivered directly to Kristi Noem's face. A dismantling so precise, so thorough, and so grounded in receipts that the room practically shifted. This wasn't political theater. This was accountability, the kind that rarely gets spoken so plainly in Washington. Because let's be honest, most hearings tiptoe. Most lawmakers dance around the truth, soften the blow, and avoid naming names. Not here. Today you saw a Democrat lay out a catalog of failures so sweeping that even Republicans in the room couldn't pretend not to hear it. From slashing FEMA programs right before disaster season to underfunding cyber protections while foreign adversaries test our systems daily, to cutting the Office of Civil Rights and Liberties as if the Constitution is optional, the critique wasn't abstract. It was point by point, line by line, policy by policy. And the message was unmistakable. You cannot claim to protect America while systematically dismantling every tool designed to keep Americans safe. That's why his photo ops and costume changes lined so sharply. Because it cut through the facade. It called out exactly what has been happening under this DHS leadership. The prioritizing of optics over governance, political loyalty over national security, and obedience to Trump over obedience to the law. And that ending, pointing out that Republicans are running from their own constituents because they can't defend DHS's actions back home, that's not hyperbole. That's a reality check for a country where transparency is shrinking and power is being consolidated behind closed doors. This is why hearings like this matter. Not because they create viral moments, but because they expose the machinery. They reveal what's happening beneath the slogans, beneath the press conferences, beneath the staged outrage. They show us what's actually being dismantled, and who's getting hurt in the process. If you care about oversight, if you care about constitutional limits, and if you care about a government that serves people instead of punishing them, then moments like these deserve attention. They deserve amplification. And that's what we do here. This is Left Lens, where we cut through the noise, analyze the real power plays, and hold the powerful to account. If you want more honest breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications, and stay locked in, because the stakes right now are too high to look away.